It's inevitable that you're going to find mistakes in your film, especially when you're filming everything by yourself. But what should you do once you find those mistakes? Well, this is episode 9 of the behind the scenes look into my short film Coming Home, where we're going to be talking about dealing with mistakes in your film. And if you're new here, this channel is all about teaching you how to use your camera to make good videos, so consider subscribing. And I'm going to start this one off with a challenge, so pause this video, head over to my other page, Camber Films, watch the video Coming Home, and see how many mistakes you can find. And these mistakes can be anything from objects that are out of place to continuity errors, but the only rule is that you can only watch it once without pausing to look closer for any errors, but you can pause it to write down any mistakes you find. And once you do that, come back over here and leave a comment letting me know how many you find, or if you found any that I don't mention here, and hopefully I won't regret this. All right, let's start finding some mistakes. Oh, I already see it. There's a speck right there on the lens that I didn't clean off ahead of time, and it is on there throughout this whole sequence. There it is on my eye. See that watch band? Remember that later. Oh, you see the size of that suitcase? Remember that as well.
Daddy's coming home. Mommy, Daddy's home.
And we got a boom mic stand.
Oh. Boom mic.
We got a boom mic.
It's a boom mic.
After there?
Yeah.
Oh well. Same watch band right there.
Daddy, I don't want you to go. Dad, can you just stay? Please don't go, Daddy.
Oh, she plays such a good sad girl.
I want my daddy.
I know, sweetie. You know what? He's coming home
I see
tomorrow.
another one coming.
But for him, it's actually already tomorrow because he's all the way across the ocean.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But tonight, for you, it's bedtime. I love you.
Oh, you see those window blinds? Open on both sides. Mom walks away.
Mommy,
Yes, sweetie?
I miss Dad.
Boom, they're closed.
Daddy.
I know,
Oops.
sweetie. I do too. But we'll see him soon, okay?
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
When you're done, come get in the shower.
Okay, Mom.
And boom. There's some glasses right there sitting next to the stairway. That wouldn't normally be there. Oh, I see another one. Look under my arm, right there. There's a water bottle full of coffee. Missed that.
What you doing, buddy?
I made Daddy's airplane.
And we got another boom mic
That's sloppy.
right there. Oh well. Hey, that suitcase looks a lot smaller than the last time. Oh, you know, I forgot to point out earlier when I came down here for the coffee. See that watch band? That's definitely different. Moving on.
Look, Dad's home. He is? Yay!
And see my arms are on the outside of them right there? And oh, now it's on the inside. Must have gone through his body just like Elsa's hair. Hey, I'm wearing the other watch band again. Oh, there it is again. I must have changed it throughout the day. So right now I'm holding the baby. Okay, holding the baby, and oh, she's picking her nose. No big deal. And there, it's hard to tell, but I actually was picking up the other kid. So I'm holding a different kid than the first time. So all in all, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different mistakes. Hopefully you didn't find any more, but if you did, post them down below. I'm gonna run through those mistake areas again and talk about why I decided to keep those in there instead of trying to find a different clip. So starting off at the beginning with this spec, that's just, I didn't find that till after the fact when I was back home editing this. I couldn't just go back and shoot this. I was in a hotel in Spain at the time. So most people aren't gonna notice that. It just, once I saw it, especially on my eye right there, it just bugged me like crazy, but something no one else is gonna notice, especially when they only watch it once. Moving over to the watch band and the suitcase size, again, people aren't looking for that, so they're not going to notice those changes. So no big deal there. Moving on to here, the mic stand. I should have placed this further over to the side. It would have never been in view. I just was focused on getting this shot and trying to get the kids to do this. There was a whole lot of moving parts in this. It was a short shot, but trying to get them all 3 kids to work together was a bit difficult. I didn't notice that. That's one of the things when, if you're working with someone else or have a crew, then someone's probably going to catch that and you'll be able to place things better, but no mistakes happen. So moving on from that to here with the blinds. They're open there. I was using that to light them, and then it's closed. That's not something you're probably going to notice. I did that on purpose. I wanted it closed because I felt like it would be distracting to have a lot of light coming through and looking outside because I want the focus to be on her. So I think the scene works. It may have been interesting to try it with it open just to see how that light coming through, if that would have put any interesting shadows on her face or backlit her hair a little bit. But again, those are the things you don't think about till after the fact. So that's not really a problem either. The scene worked out. So next up, we have those glasses. I didn't even notice that until right before I released the video. So I wasn't gonna change it then, but again, it happens so fast and your attention is on me walking down the stairs. You're not looking over there in the surroundings and it goes by so quick that you don't notice. So you can see that water bottle there with coffee in it. I filled that up with coffee from my hotel before I left, and your focus here is on that coffee being poured, so you're not going to notice this big old bottle behind. It's not a big deal. Even if you did, you probably wouldn't even know what it is, but it's just one of those things. Again, if you had a crew, someone else would have gotten that out of the way because they probably would have filled that up for you. I just filled it up quick, was trying to get everything done quick because we didn't have a lot of time. So mistakes happen more so when you're working alone. And then moving to here, this is probably the one that bugged me the most because most things you're focusing on something else away from the mistake. But here, you're looking right at him and the plane is where your attention's drawn and it's just right there above him. And I could have cropped in a little more, but because of this transition, I couldn't do much more with it without completely changing the look of this video because I wanted the plane to be that size and in that spot. So just got to deal with it, move on. Oh well. So there's the suitcase, bigger, no big deal. or suitcase was smaller. So then coming here, I didn't notice this until my wife pointed it out. So I'm sitting here editing it over and over and over again. I didn't even notice it, but I reach out there and my hand's on the inside of them. But chances are when that scene switches over, you're not looking at my hand anymore. You're looking at her as where your attention's drawn to, running to me. So small mistake, another thing probably going unnoticed. So then moving on to things like, I didn't notice this either until right before. Picking the nose a little bit there, but when you're watching this, here your attention's on her laughing, then it's on him. So we're probably looking at him the whole time and don't even notice that. So not a big deal. And the same thing with picking the kid up. There's a different kid there, but we could have switched kids. This isn't really a timeline thing. It's just a bunch of montage shots put together. So not a huge deal. All in all, it worked out pretty well. No huge mistakes that really changed anything in the video or messed it up. So I'm pretty happy about that. But the other thing that was hard for me to deal with was there was one more shot that I really wanted in this video, and it was right here. As the plane was coming down, I wanted to cut from this to one of those shots of looking straight down a runway and seeing the airplane come down overhead with a view of the back of it all the way to touchdown. I worked for months trying to set up that shot, and the one time I was about to get it, the flight canceled that I was going to do, and that was about 2 weeks before releasing the video. And at that point, I just gave up. I said, okay, I'm not going to do it this way, because what I was going to do was get that shot from behind and then cut straight to this shot of me walking out. So then you'd have that same motion of the plane descending and then me descending down the stairs. And that would have worked really well. And then I was going to cut to this shot of me walking after coming out of the stairs. But it ended up working okay, because as you see, the plane's moving left to right. And so I started with this shot first instead, and we did a left to right movement with it. So those shots kind of blended together a little better. And it worked out in the long run. And that's one of those things that no one else is going to know except me how that could have looked, how I want it to look. All they're going to know is how it looked in the end, because that's the final product. So look at mistakes, see where your attention is naturally drawn, how long the scene is, how long the mistake object out of place is there, or if the continuity error is something big enough that's going to detract from the video. If not, just let it go. People are pretty forgiving when it comes to those types of things, because they're watching to be entertained. Most people aren't watching to critique and pull your stuff apart. So yeah, just got to deal with it, move on. Try to do what you can with the footage to hide those mistakes if you can't reshoot, but remember that performance is way more important than the continuity in a scene. So learn from those mistakes, keep practicing to avoid them in the future, and help me out by leaving a like if this video is helpful for you, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you soon.